So SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. So the UN defines this as making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. And the UN has defined 10 targets and 16 indicators. Targets specifying the goal, indicators representing the metrics by which the world aims to track whether these targets are achieved. And the world's population right now is 7.7 billion with a projection of 9.7 billion by 2050. And today, half of the world's population lives in urban areas. That number is expected to jump to 70% by 2050. So the first target is safe and affordable housing indicated by urban population living in slums. The goal is to ensure by 2030 access for all to adequate, safe, and affordable housing and basic services and upgrade slums. Um, so a slum household is defined as a group of individuals living under the same roof, lacking one or more of the following conditions: access to improved water, access to improved sanitation, sufficient living area, durability of housing, and security of tenant. So this graph is of 2022, and the U.S. is in the 0 to 10% range at 0.09%, and Japan is at also in that same range, but at 2%. And for the target 2, which is affordable and sustainable transport systems indicated by public transport access, it is for people who can access public transport stop within a walking distance of 500 meters for low capacity public transport systems or 1,000 meters for high capacity public transport systems. And the goal for this is, again, to provide access to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems for all by 2030. So this graph, again, for 2020 shows the U.S. being in that 50 to 60% range at 58.9%, and Japan is also in that same range, but again, it is lower than the U.S. at 56.8%. And for this fifth target, reduce the adverse effects of natural disasters, indicated by deaths and injuries from natural disasters. The goal is for by 2030 to significantly reduce the number of deaths and number of people affected by the disasters. And this one shows that of 2022, data taken in 2021, the annual number of deaths and missing persons due to all forms of natural disasters per 100,000 people. So, unlike in the other graphs, Japan and the US are not in the same range. The US is actually at the higher end at 100 plus with 139.66 per 100,000 people, and Japan is at 0.12 per 100,000 people. So for solutions, there are many solutions that are being implemented or researched with the use of IoT, 5G, AI. 5G is able to help with enhance IoT and AI, but IoT is able to use sensors and use data to possibly predict certain things. But in cities, IoT can help with traffic. IoT can also help with it's being used in wearables and in smart cities. Specifically for traffic, it is used for smart parking with system where sensors and connected devices help drivers find parking. For traffic light to monitor patterns and hopefully reduce congestion, whether that be by changing the pattern to help with the congestion, and then public safety with sensors being able to use to identify potential safety hazards, or again monitor traffic conditions and alert drivers of potential dangers ahead. For smart cities, for water and waste management, sensors again are able to detect leaks in water systems, saving water and money, energy management, public safety, pollution monitoring. Again, all of these with sensors. And then with wearables, this can really help with the natural disaster aspect that some countries could be facing. With the communication, um, it's a people are able to put out notifications of possible potential dangers, which is already happening with possible like tornadoes, hurricane winds, and just alerting people of what could be happening in the next minutes, hours, or even days. For safety and security, again, just making sure people are safe. If you have an accident, you're able to call, give your location, and the location navigation could help with first responders help find people, no, people's locations who are in need of help and able to navigate to them. So all IoT could help with all of the targets within this making sustainable cities and communities. And citations.